You never. That's right. You don't need to use drugs or of any sort to achieve your goal. It's not that you can't. You can leverage opportunities from things that you introduce to your body, but the goal is never have to be dependent on it because your body can produce it under normal circumstances or applications or rituals. So like for instance, the high we chase out of life has been stolen from us because we get underpaid. So for instance, when a woman breastfeeds, she produces what's called oxytocin. It's called the bonding hormone, right? And this bonding hormone by nature suggests to her intuitively to protect whatever created the opportunity. It's also produced in men, but not the breast milk aspect. So when a woman breastfeeds, the hormones are instructions. Anytime you hear the word hormone, if I have cortisol hormones being produced, that means I'm stressed. So that hormone is giving me instructions to probably forget what's going on or to block things out or don't recall it. So like people that are victims of extreme rape or abuse, they probably forget certain parts of their life or during the abuse because the hormone tells them this is too much to bear, forget about what's going on. So you have the hormone insulin. When insulin is secreted from the pancreas, insulin tells the cells to open up their walls and allow blood sugar in the form of glucose to enter into the cell and to metabolize. So when we have a problem producing insulin in the form of diabetes, that means that there's too much blood sugar in the blood, which destroys nerves because glucose is destructive. And therefore, the cells are not allowing their walls to open up because they're not following instructions. And this is what's crazy about diabetic medicines because they give you like 14 different ones. And those medicines are coming from cows and pigs. So you're taking cows and pigs instructions. And that's why your body's constantly rejecting it. And that's why you got to be on pills for almost the rest of your life until they keep cutting things. But that's another conversation, right? So, yeah. Let me make sure I stick on because I be bugging out. Let me stay focused before y'all go on that, right? So real quick. All right, go ahead. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna just finish this thing here, right? So the thing is, when we talking about instructions and hormones, I was talking about oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. It gives you a high. It gives you a chill up your body. It gives you a chill up your spine. It also tells you whatever caused this, protect the interests of that. So like, let's say a woman breastfeeds, she becomes more protective of her child. It's set like that by nature. When they don't breastfeed, it's a possibility she become less protective. That's just nature. Or she could just be more protective. Even if she's protected, she'd be more protective if she breastfeeds. What's this got to do with life? Because I said they cheat us out the high by undercompensating us. That's what I said. So let's do this again. When does oxytocin also get created? Chemically, oxytocin is created also when people use crack. It's also similar in composition when or produced or summoned when people use cocaine. We also find oxytocin being produced when you find money out of nowhere on the street. If you ever found money on the street, it automatically became addictive and you kept looking for money every day of the week because you just knew I did it once, I could do it again. It's an addiction because oxytocin is produced just like when you use crack, just like when you use cocaine. It's produced it's produced when you find money.
That's your question within that. Is that the same thing with like the casino?
Yes, the whole.
And that's why people keep going back and going
for
back.
hours and hours and hours.
Okay.
It's a high you get. So you also get this same high when you find money. You get the same high when you get a return on your investment. You get the same high when you work hard. And you actually get rewarded for it. Now watch what happens. Working is obligatory. We have to work to make money. What happens when you work your ass off, you get your check and you look at it like, this shit can't even pay my bills. I'm living check to check. You don't get a high from that. You're supposed to get a high when you get compensated from what you do. You also get a high when you donate. You ever gave something to somebody you didn't really want to give it to them? You ain't really have that much. You was kind of struggling yourself, but then you gave it to them anyway. And then you saw how it impacted them, and it made you feel good. You got that chill up your spine. That chill up your spine is called oxytocin. And in fact, it made you want to revisit that feeling again because the human body is designed that when you get that feeling, you want to secure the interest of that feeling and you want to make it recurring. So whatever causes that high, you want it over and over. Now, working should give us a natural high, and we should all want to work, provided we're properly compensated.
Right.
When you're not properly compensated, you need to now beseech synthetic forms of that high in the form of crack, in the form of cocaine, in the form of cigarettes, because you're overcompensating, because life no longer gives you a high, because it's no longer satisfying. So we have to find, that's why being an entrepreneur is so much more important in this day and time, so you can get your true reward. And I always say, one of my sayings is, you can never get paid what you're worth, only what you negotiate. What could someone really give me that I'm worth? It's coming from Brother Polight. If it's coming from King Los, it's a King Los product. If it's coming from you, you put your name on it. No one in the world got that thing from you, because they only get it from you. So what's the price on that? There's no value. So you can never get paid what you're worth. You only can get paid what you negotiate. And they always underpaying us, so they steal the high that we're supposed to get out of life. Because when you get compensated properly and oxytocin is produced, you want to keep working. You don't want to be a workaholic because you love the vibe of being compensated properly, because you get the same stimulus you get from crack and cocaine from working hard, or from investing and getting a return, or from finding money, or from being a philanthropist and donating to people. You get a high from these things. But if you're not giving to people enough to realize your high, if you're not investing and getting returns, if you're working and being underpaid, then the only way you can get your high is through synthetic forms of the same. And then that leads to addiction. And guess what? If you keep getting your high from synthetic forms of the same, eventually you get depleted of the ability to produce it yourself. Now you need it. So now you're walking around with some zombies.